This has been a long day.
It has, in fact, been a long day.
We started at 9-ish. It's 11:35 now. That's about a full day of watching Iron Fist, but we finally finished. This was the season finale, episode 13.
It's finally over.
And what a ride.
What a ride.
I was about to say that I feel like this was the most fleshed out ending of one of them, and then like the actual ending happened, and I was like, fuck this. And by actual ending, the things that pissed me off was Davos talking to Joy about how he must die, and then Gao was right behind him. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then it got even fucking worse when I'm like, oh, they got back to, what is it called? Lucan? They got to Never Never Land, and they realized that it was like it has been moved.
He says,
and everyone around there is dead.
He says it's gone. Like as they're approaching, we each were like writing a better ending, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh shit, did Davos freak out? Did he like fight his way out there? Is he like the second chosen one whose powers rival Danny Rand's? And like he went out there and like they're gonna go there and like oh, the stew, everything's dead. What's happening?
I was picturing the opposite, that he got back and like he was so mad about all this bullshit and not being chosen, he went back, brought the hand with him, and fucking just destroyed the whole thing.
Well, then they showed the hand. That's when you were like, oh shit, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's still not like he didn't destroy it the way I thought. I think it was that the hand attacked. They went, oh no, the hand! Poof, dropped like a smoke bomb, and the city moved somewhere else.
That's just the gate that like leads you to the city, and I think when the gates close, that's what it looks like, right? Where you would just see through it to like the real mountain.
No. I think when the gates close, you actually can't even get to the archway. I think it's a constant snowstorm, and you can never see the door.
I don't like that.
Well, I think that's what it is, though.
I don't know. It's gone. What the hell is the archway doing there?
The archway is the way to get through.
That's dumb.
What else would there be?
What?
It's like a portal, essentially.
Yes, I figure that it's like a portal, and with that.
Yeah, I believe that archway does not exist at all when it's not the 15-year opening time. They were still within the time, I think, and it was just it was gone because I believe because it was attacked, and they like, oh no, they found out where we are. We must move the secret city.
I picture like the Stargate, and that's just a big empty Stargate now. That's not pointing into something else anymore.
Well, maybe we'll find out eventually, but maybe never.
Maybe never.
Maybe never. But like everything got pretty wrapped up in a nice little bun, and most things made sense. Why Joy took such a turn, I don't know. And maybe she didn't yet because she didn't,
she's just
conclusively say anything. Yeah.
I liked her calling out, Harold on his shit and all that stuff.
And the only reason I could see a Davos, like you might be like, well, why would Davos want him dead? I think because there can only be one, and when he dies, the testing starts again, and he could then become the Iron Fist.
Because he's like the heir
I
apparent
believe that would be why he would want that to happen.
Yeah, and from his perspective, again, taking the long view, Danny's made it clear, listen, I'm gonna be fisting people away from the honorary
I'm
place.
a New York fister, and that's it.
And he's like, dude, you just took our highest honor protectorate kung fu thing away. What are you doing? And
you took the nukes and left with America. What the hell?
Yeah, we need to get the nuclear football back into America's hands, effectively.
Yeah.
So I can't knock him for that.
No, it makes perfect sense, and America's got enough superheroes in New York.
Yeah, right. He's not even the best superhero of the Defenders.
No, and the Defenders aren't even the best ones New York has.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck.
No, we got plenty, but we also have a lot of problems, so we need a lot of people.
We have a lot of problems to go around.
Sure. But a lot of stuff happens in this episode. We got, Ward comes back around to Danny's side. They're even working together to plan this attack to get this tablet back that has all the information on it. When on the phone conversing about how to synchronize this attack and say you probably shouldn't come today. Bam! Ward gets cracked in the melon with a fucking.
It was like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets golf clubbed right in the head.
Once you saw,
I thought he was
Harold,
dead.
Yeah. There was a lot of blood spray.
A lot of blood. He was dragging him off.
And
then he gets up and I'm like, oh, he's not dead. All right, cool.
Oh. I want to point out before we get into the actual events of that night that they're looking at the documents. What did I say? I wrote down in the margin. It was the least surprising surprise ever. Danny's freaking out. How could he betray me? He wasn't honest to me at all. And I'm like, what the hell? Was this filmed out of order? Was this written differently and backfilled or something? How is this happening? Why is anyone literally at all surprised? This is the least surprising double cross in the history of the world.
Well, we in fairness, we do know more than he does as the Watcher, but yeah, he shouldn't have been that surprised.
No, it's crazy, right? Because he's already experienced some of these things like firsthand or something, right?
Kinda.
But
in the last thing, it was like, oh, you're a family to me. Yay, everything's good. The DEA's coming for you, bro. Watch out. He betrayed me. The fuck.
Yeah, and I would have been like, well, now it all makes sense, because fuck.
Yeah, and then once you find out, especially that he tried to murder you.
And Gao's like, I even remember when he came to me for the poison. I tried to talk him out of it and all that stuff. And he's like, what? And all that, I don't know.
My biggest regret to date is not pushing your father off this building 30 years ago.
I like that. I like his dumb speech at the end.
Yeah, no, and that all came together so smoothly too, where it was like, oh, I guess this is gonna end quicker, and then it was like, oh, there's actually a couple minutes left, so this is not done. He kicks him, he gets speared onto the wall.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We get some Iron Fist actual power where like he punches the floor and blows out all the windows on the floor of the building.
I made a special note of the ground pound in there and all that stuff. I dig it.
Ground pound was pretty good. I thought somebody was going to get seriously wounded though in that. I guess you can say Ward was. But I thought that Colleen was going to get shot or something was going to happen that was going to really trigger him going over the edge or amp up the fact that he was able to restrain his emotions, but none of that really did come
They telegraphed
true.
that a couple of times. There's a few times where someone is pointing a gun, getting ready to do something
right at her,
and it like cuts to Colleen immediately, and I'm like, now I'm like, that was manipulative, guys. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, a bunch of bastards.
But yeah, so it was interesting. Because he says, and I wrote it down in very highlighted things, the battle is won or whatever. Like, so he went and faced the dragon, and they just showed some horrible CGIs in like the cave, during like the flashback.
Yeah, you never get to see the dragon.
But it kind of like clicks back into like the modern whatever. I thought it might have been some weird time space warp echo thing where this sort of all was his test in some way, and whatever he faced was just this manifestation of something like that, and not an actual dragon. But I don't really know.
No, it was a dragon.
So he just literally fought a dragon in the cave?
I don't think he fought. I think you have to stand before it, and it judges you worthy or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't fight a dragon. What are we talking about here?
Dragons aren't real. But he says the battle is won now, because like the whole thing, the like echoing in his head is like Gao saying, "You have to kill Harold, and that'll fix you." And like I said out loud, that isn't how anger works. What is she doing? And then like
Colleen, that would have sent him into the ultimate spiral of darkness to maybe become a cross onto the hand's side.
So like be like the Dark Fister.
Yeah.
No, like
the Black Fist.
Colleen calls it out and says like that might corrupt your chi like forever. Like that's horrible. You can't like take murderous vengeance.
That's why I must kill him for you.
And that whole bit was great with
Rosario Dawson.
With Claire
Are
being
you
like,
kidding me?
"Oh my god!" Because she's like, "Okay, good. I have." Come on! Like, what are you doing? Like, perfect.
You effing kidding me?
Oh, you effing kidding me? Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas.
Oh, I wrote it down as Ward gets teed off.
Oh, the puns. This was a pretty decent episode. He got a lot of muscle in his penthouse. Shooting guns willy-nilly. Always good.
No, and like this felt okay. You mentioned like smoothly, like they didn't stay on anything for too long.
Nothing got weird. There was the costume of the final episodes of Luke Cage. No, on the whole, like this wasn't bad. I don't know. This got a lot, I think, negative press. And like, could this have been the worst of the Marvel Netflix originals?
I was gonna say like, this is probably my least favorite.
No, but like what I'm saying is it could be the worst of the Marvel Netflix originals, but the bar is set very high, and I don't think this is bad by any stretch of the imagination. So like to say like, yeah, bitch, you only got an 8 out of 10. I'm like, yeah, that's the worst one. Marvel, you guys have fallen off.
I understand people though, because like when the worst one's like the most recent one, you're just like, come on, and it makes you have that thing of like, because everyone gets so hyped for all these, and this was the one that was like the most like, I don't know where's it going, and then it wasn't. So I could see like disappointment.
But it was fine. This was not a flop at all.
No, I would say compared to like the neck breaking was pretty good, but compared to like weird where we're like running on the roof and there's ninjas and then I have to sacrifice myself. Why though? I don't know, and all that stuff. Compared to like I've built a suit so I can punch you back and all that stuff. Like this, a lot of dumb things here. Honestly, and
this one was all grounded fairly well into realism for what it was.
And it was super smooth, like you're saying, where like we didn't like like a couple things happened. It wasn't this like impossible shootout or like 100 guys.
No, a lot of it felt very real.
Because it was about him and it was about Harold. I made a note. Harold was the final boss. Because like in like episode 1 or 2, we're like, that's the final boss.
True.
Which is like, what a roller coaster to have him die and have all these other things happen and Gao show up and then Bakuda show up and to have him still be the final boss. What a turnaround.
And when you think of it that way,
though.
Keeping you guessing is super important. You're really like, and while I'll say it did get telegraphed very early on, that was a blind guess because so much happened that never did we think that was still coming true. So they did do their job in that regard.
Once he came back, I think I was like, in my head at least, like, okay. But I don't know. And like the point is like, not even just to keep you guessing, but it's almost like it's like poetry. It like rhymes, where it kind of like resolves itself in that way. Because this was about him. This was about Harold and Danny like facing off. They gave those speeches that we're talking about, and it was even the thing you were calling out, where it's like people keep forgetting about the most deadly superpower, the power of gun, or something like that. Because it was just a dude who like can't, he like to say like he can't die. He can actually die.
Yeah, he just comes back.
It's just that he's tenacious about it, coming back to life. And like Danny's this like super powerful, whatever the fuck. But that guy has a gun, and that guy is like waiting for him to come through the door.
Yeah,
which is like
and he did shoot him.
Completely reasonable. Actually shoots him in his
his powerhouse,
in his super hand, and then it becomes this whole thing. And you were calling out how it's like, well, yeah, they're like stick fighting, but he's lefty and he's got 2 hands on the thing, and that guy's in pretty good shape for being like undead or whatever, and Danny's been fighting and been through all this other shit this whole time.
No, it was a roller coaster.
This is a super reasonable fight.
And motivations twirled throughout this season, where it was just like this thing where like it twined about and like would rotate constantly. Who was even like who's on whose side? Who's doing what? Who's doing this? Okay, like the triangle of power just kept shifting.
Yeah.
With everybody, honestly, like,
which I like.
That's my brother Davos. That's my enemy Davos. That's my girlfriend. She's my enemy. That's the hand, the good hand. This is my family, not my family. He loves me. He hates me. We're on my side. Who tried to crash the plane? Everybody.
Yeah, we're family. No, I have your back. No, whatever. You'll never be this. Whatever the fuck. Davos like, she's the hand. We can't trust her. Teacher, she was still tough. And the back and forth. Yeah. I like it. No, I like that, but it didn't feel weird or like goofy or forced.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think this was the worst thing ever at all.
No, this was certainly like a fine thing. This was certainly like a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was not to me like even like a superhero thing.
But that was the biggest issue was like I said early on, is this just like kind of stays at like a 7 like all the way across. It never ramps up. It never really drops super far down either, which is a bonus. Like only one episode did we complain about really, but we never like even the complaint episode was just like we complained because nothing changed at all really. It was just like the same thing ended where it began. We didn't gain any ground. And this kind of just petered across. Like, but there's nothing wrong with being that little engine that could. The turtle wins the race, all that bullshit. But, like, we've been used to these, like, oh, that was so crazy. Oh, my God, the filler. Oh, my God, the filler.
I know. I think at the end of the day, I would prefer something. Because, like, I'm probably never going to rewatch, like, any of them.
Of course not.
But, like, Daredevil and, like, Luke Cage and even Jessica Jones have bits that I'd want to go, like, watch on YouTube again or whatever.
Sure. I see what you're saying.
And, like, at the end of the day, just because of how modern, like, life works or whatever, I think I would, like, prefer something that just has... And not to have everything be really, really bad. It can be, like, serviceable or fine or good or whatever, but then have these crazy, cool shit moments that I can stick in my head and
giant
be like,
ramp-ups.
oh, man, we did that, right? I don't know.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I understand the... I have not heard how people are articulating their disappointment. It might be super unfair and, like, weird shit, but I see where this would not necessarily... because even like Luke Cage for me was not as much. I ended up liking it a lot because of the music and some of the
music, and it had some of the best scenes, like just great, like that fight scene, this whatever. Yeah. But like overall, I thought there was more disappointment in Luke Cage than there was in this.
Right. And the ending there was also
the problem was that one ended so poorly.
Yeah, but like I forget what I was gonna say about all that.
And a lot of this makes me wonder, too, like, what is the Defenders going to be? Because you have so many loose ends from every show. I'm like, is it going to be like, this episode, we're fighting the blah, blah, blah? Because with 4 superheroes, more if you count all their friends, you could potentially kill any one bad guy in an episode.
Right, and if it's gonna be like a fewer episodes, I feel like it'll be like the Avengers movie, but for here, which is what they're kind of implying by the name or whatever. So I guess Gal and Davos and some other people are gonna like get together with like
with a man in the suit,
with like
and Kingpin will come back out.
Yeah, with like the other the other evil corporations that have been around. They're all gonna be like, okay, we have to track down Kunlun and get the crystal and do whatever the fuck, and then they're gonna be like, we're here to stop you. With our friends and our lawyer friends and our other friends and our ninja friends and all of our friends. It's great.
So many lawyers and so many friends. You don't even know what's up.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I've read zero shit because I always want to be
I try to avoid everything because I like to see it, do it live.
Fucking random.
But no, this was pretty good. Any other points you want to mention on this episode?
I don't feel bad about this. This is like a good thing. I'm not like worried about Defenders. I'm not worried about this guy. I feel good about what I have seen.
I think ramp-up moments like you want are going to be in the Punisher series for sure.
Oh my God, yes. I hope so.
Because all he is a fucking ramp-up moment.
I think the acting too, honestly, that's something for me. I think there were like a few good speeches, but Harold was not like 10 out of 10 for me. He was just kind of like had some whatevers, but he had some good, I like a nice villain speech.
Sure.
I like a nice hero speech. Daredevil had that whole like thing where he's like, you make a hell of a Marine, Red, but like, when I put them down, they stay down, all this fucking shit, the trial, and I had all this awesome, and like Fisk is going off, and all these, there's just like really meaty, awesome things, and this didn't really have any of that for me.
No, yeah. There weren't a lot of those put you in your place with words moments. Daredevil had a lot of those.
Yeah, well, he's more of a talker. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. Everything doesn't have to be exactly the same.
The part in Daredevil where that lawyer is cross-examining, and she's like, we all know, Sergeant, words are words. And things said on the battlefield and accommodations don't tell you exactly what got him. He goes, so how can we be sure it actually went down as you're saying? I was that general, and he shows us
that was me. I
lost my arm. I made that bad call, and Frank Castle saved my life and many other Marines.
Yeah.
God damn it, we walked into that.
Yeah, I think making it a legal show sets it up for that more.
It's true. It's
whatever. But like David Tennant giving his,
David Tennant's like cheating.
Heard it, I wrote it, and all that stuff, and you're like, oh fuck, and I'm like, I don't know. I like moments like that, even if they're not physical or big set pieces, just those moments. And this was sort of, shyer on that.
Yeah.
I would still give it a higher score than most other shit I've seen on Netflix, especially shit that we've binged or been like, how was that show, right? Because most of everything
definitely
sucks, and this is like fucking.
No, this is gold by comparison.
Where do you rank it though? Would you put it at the bottom? Would you put it above Jessica Jones? How do you feel
Jessica
about
Jones. I think Jessica Jones is my favorite one.
Wait, really?
I think I like Jessica Jones the best.
I thought you were the one that had it below most of the other ones.
No.
I thought I liked Jessica Jones a lot, and you didn't like Jessica Jones.
No, Jessica Jones was my top.
Is that just everyone else?
Maybe.
Okay.
Jessica Jones was my top. I think Daredevil Season 2 is my number 2. Luke Cage might be my 3, then Daredevil Season 1, and then I'd put Iron Fist. So, yeah, I would put Iron Fist last.
I might be in complete agreement, perhaps flipping Jessica Jones and Daredevil too, but I think on different days I might answer differently depending on whether I'm like, oh, when he writes down K-I-L, and then she's like, yeah, Kilgrave, I know. Is your mom coming back? And then he's right, kill me on it. It's like certain moments like that in Jessica Jones is like, oh, so good. But I did kind of drag in like the whatever, and I don't know.
I really
all good
like
shows.
The characters in that one.
Yeah.
That was the one where I'm watching that one on
Trish
own,
talk.
just like going like, I just want to watch the next one. Oh, I gotta go to work or something bullshit. Oh, okay, gotta watch another one. Like that was rippable for me. Like went right through it. Like yeah.
There were a lot of good characters in that.
And we're gonna see them again.
Well,
so
they all come together.
I think the next thing up is the Punisher next, and then Defenders. Is that how it's going?
We have not checked.
I haven't double checked.
Totally unprepared
I've heard people say
speculation.
Yeah, so we're not going to really dance around the speculations. We'll come back when there's a trailer for whatever's coming out next. But yes, that was season 1 of Iron Fist.
Fuck yeah.
Watched in one day, one horrible day, and no, I'd say check it out. I don't think it's bad at all.
No, you're not gonna walk away like, what the fuck was I wasting my time for? Like, if you like,
unless you watch it in one day, then you might not like it as much.
No, this is the most efficient use of your time.
Disagree.
No, if you like, if you've liked any of these series and like the elements that they set up and like the way they pace stuff, this was totally fine. Ninja shit, fucking.
Yeah, cameos from characters you like, references, all good stuff. So yeah, check this out. 2 thumbs up, I think. I can say that safely.
Totes my goats.
Don't die in a fire.